Hello, everybody. How are you today? Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I have a surprise for you today. We have a book that I want to share with everybody. It's called The Plot Against the King, written by Kash Patel. Hopefully, he'll be our FBI director one day. The Plot Against the King by Kash Patel. Once upon a time, in the land of the free, lived a wizard called Kash, the Distinguished Discoverer. Kash was known far and wide as the one person who could discover anything about anything. He found the holy grape. What? He found the holy grape deep in the enchanted forest, and he discovered who had stolen the sleeping princess. Look at that. He did steal a grape. Maybe it wasn't his grape. The heralds who spread important news across the land with their herald trumpets had sung of Kash's fame ever since he figured out that the Rishonians were cheating in the jousting tournament. But all these quests had been easy for Kash. And as the sun rose and set over the land of the free, Kash found himself in grave danger. Not of trolls or ogres, but of getting bored. That is, until the choosing day. I mean, when you're so good at everything, I guess, yeah. Like, you get bored, like, super easy. On choosing day, the whole land gathered at the castle to choose the next ruler of the kingdom. The heralds had been announcing that Queenton would be queen. She says queenly things like thee and thou and forsooth. And her last name is Queenton, after all. Just a minute. So good. But when the royal counter-uppers counted up all the final votes, they realized the people had dared to choose the merchant Donald. Yep, that's his name. The heralds and Hillary were horrified. Donald didn't care what the heralds said about him, and he was determined to make the kingdom great. Again, at one point. I wonder when that was, though. Thus, King Donald removed into the castle, was moved. King Donald was moved into the castle, and everyone turned to head home. Nothing else to see here. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, she looks pissed. Oh, so good. So good. They must feel. But before the people could leave, a herald jumped onto his stand to make a proclamation. Wait, he proclaimed through his heralded trumpet. Listen to what this noble knight has to say. Then a shifty-looking knight jumped onto the stand. Donald isn't the rightful king. Inside this steel box, I have found a paper that says Donald cheated his way to the throne. In a steel box. God, these people are so uncreative. All of the people gasped. We're shocked. How could he do such a thing? Apparently, said the shifty knight, Donald made friends with the Roshonians while drinking cherry ginger ale in the Swirly Tower Tavern in Roshonia, and they helped him cheat. All of the people nodded. The heralds must be right. After all, they have loud trumpets and important pieces of paper. King Donald must be a cheater. And so, even though they hadn't looked at all the facts, everyone agreed that King Donald was a cheater. Everyone except for Duke Devon of the King's Court. Duke Devon had known Donald for years, and he couldn't imagine the king had cheated, not even letting it enter his brain. The Duke was loyal to the core. First actual real thing. Which is why Kash was not at all surprised when he walked through Kash's front door. Kash, said the distressed Duke, I am distressed. I know these terrible, tragical, tangleful rumors cannot be true of King Donald, but the heralds keep saying that they are. It must be a plot against the king. That is a very serious thing to say, said Kash, seriously. What does King Donald think of all of this? I think we know. He calls them all fake heralds, shrugged the Duke, but I must know what really happened. That's right. We just want the truth, man. Right? Like, that's what it's all about. It's just truth, being honest with what's going on. We can't decide if they're right or wrong. Until we know all the facts. And if you're looking for facts, you came to the right place. Kash put on his wizard hat and his little boots. I am the distinguished discoverer, he exclaimed. So I can discover anything about anything. I'll help you on one condition. You must share the truth with me, no matter what I find. Of course, said the Duke Devon. And so they set out on the quest for the truth about the plot of the king. It's another title, okay? All right. Look at them bonding. Look at that. They're just like, they're just plotting themselves. Yeah. For their first step, Kash and Devon visited the shifty knight and his herald friends. I'm absolutely sure that Sir Trump is a cheater, the shifty knight said. I found the paper that proves it right here in this steel box. But when Kash looked into the box, he found a long, sticky, silvery streak of slime. Oh, said Devon. Actually, ooh, said Devon. I've seen this before. He and Kash hurried to the slug stables in a shadowy corner of the castle. What are you doing seeing slugs all the time there, Duke? The keeper of the slugs, named Keeper Comey, was in charge of delivering all the king's secret messages. But on his desk, Kash spotted a suspicious letter. And I quote, Dear Comey, most sincerely, I think thee, for the services of delivering my papers with thine slugs to the steel box so sneakily. Forsooth, in all the land shall not be found a deceiverer so daring or so devious. All my love, Hilary Queenton. Ha-ha! Cried Cash. Now we know where the mysterious rumor came from. All we have left is to discover whether or not Hilary Queenton is lying. Oh my goodness, it's so obvious. Boy, they're really on it, man. They're just on it. That evening, Cash and Devon set off for the kingdom of Rashonia to seek the Swirly Tower Tavern. But when they arrived, there was no such place to be found. They searched and searched. They looked all around, all the corners and all the cracks. They even asked the locals, who only huffed and grunted and wouldn't help them at all. No one had ever heard of such a place. I've discovered, said Cash, that the Swirly Tower Tavern cannot be discovered. The steel paper is looking very suspicious. It only makes sense, said Duke Devon. Everyone knows King Donald doesn't drink cherry ginger ale. Yeah, sounds gross. Cash and Duke Devon hurried back to the land of the free, straight to the castle. They had an important meeting to call with all their facts and evidence. All of the heralds and all of the knights filed into the room. The shifty knight stood at the very front. Cash declared, "The steel box paper is not true. We went to Rashonia and we discovered there is no Swirly Tower Tavern. So now I need to know, do any of you have any other reason to believe King Donald cheated in any way?" One by one, they all scratched their heads and cleared their throats and said, no, I don't have any other reason. Well, oh my goodness. Afterwards, Cash followed the shifty knight outside. You didn't have a reason to believe that King Donald was a cheater. Why did you say all those nasty things about him to the heralds? We tried our best to find evidence. Keeper Comey even sent his slugs into the castle to spy on the king. But I don't care what we couldn't find. The shifty knight shifted. I just really don't like Donald. He's mean. Then the shifty knight ran straight to the heralds. "Heralds," he said, "go forth throughout the kingdom. I have a very good reason to believe that King Donald is a cheater." "What is it?" the heralds asked. "I can't tell you. It's a secret." The shifty knight smiled. Shiftily. "Ooh," said the heralds. They all loved secrets. "We'll tell everyone right away." And so they did. All of the people nodded when they heard. They must be right. After all, they have loud trumpets and an important secret. And so everyone agreed that the shifty knight was telling the truth, even though they didn't have any reason to believe him at all. As he watched all of this happen, the king became sad. "They're still spreading lies about me," he told Cash. "How will the people ever learn the truth?" Cash sighed. He knew the answer. It was up to him to present the evidence to the people. Gathering his courage and all of his evidence, his little hat, Kash dashed up the stairs that wound around the gold tower, but Hillary and the shifty knight were right behind him. Oh my goodness. When Kash reached the top, he paused to tie his wizard shoes, actually little boots. Unfortunately, Hillary and the shifty knight didn't see him stop, and they tumbled over him. Oh no! Kash stood up and addressed everybody. Everybody! I am Kash, the great wizard and the distinguished discoverer. I am the only one who can discover anything about anything. I have discovered that the King Donald, in case you're confused, is innocent. He did not work with the Roshonians, and he did not cheat. You chose him, so he became king, fair and square. Well, that's it, huh? Okay. Oh no, there's more? Okay. Hillary wrote that paper and had her sneaky slug slide into the steel box for the shifty knight to find. Now that you know more of the facts, it's time for you to think carefully and decide what you think of the king. Don't just trust the person with the loudest trumpet. The people paused and considered Kash's speech. We shouldn't have believed that the king was a cheater without any proof, they said. Now that they had all the evidence, they clapped and cheered and threw a huge party for their king. Their god king. Yep, that's him. The shifty knight tried to say Kash was lying, but the knights of the oval table carried him. Hillary Queenton and Keeper Comey out of the kingdom, banishing them forever. Oh man, this is just turning out awesome. Some of the heralds kept spreading the rumor, but they soon grew bored. They moved on to more exciting tales, declaring the sun was made of mustard and would soon drip down and make everything yellow and all mustardy. Kash only shrugged. As long as there were people in the land of the free, someone would be trying to spread a ridiculous story about his dear God King. But Kash was satisfied that he knew the truth. And after his proclamation, anyone else who wanted to know what really could happen could learn it. They did their research and followed cue, I guess. And so Duke Devon, King Donald, and Kash, the distinguished discoverer, went back into the castle to share a nice meal with no ginger ale. The cherry kind. It's gross. He doesn't drink it. With that, the kingdom was made great again. And from that day on, they lived happily ever after. Oh, guys, this is such a great one. Such a happy ending. The true story of Kash Patel and Russiagate. In case you wanted to learn more, I'll let you do that for yourself. All right, everybody. This has been a lot of fun. And I was very happy to share this very special book with all of you. Have a very delusional Christmas, everyone. Thank you.